Hello, hello, and welcome to Amethyst Racing. Today it's me, Martin, and I'm joined by... me, El Candy. No, it's Martin on his own today. Get ready for the second race of the season. Peter's heartbreak of lack of fuel meant Lund came home to take home the first win of the day. Will Peter be able to right his wrongs, or are we going to see a new name appear at the top? It's Jeddah as we get ready for the first session of the qualifying. The drivers loading in now as we're about to get underway. Who will be the first out on track? As we wait ever so patiently for the drivers to come out. Desk smash, that was actually my drink hitting the mic. And also thank you very much for the follows, Fizzle F1 and Aziz. As we still wait for the first man to come out of the pits. And it's going to be a Haas. He's going to be not Byland. It's going to be the current reigning champion, Fox Johnson. Thank you very much for the hydrate there, Duck. As Fox Johnson looks to now start his title defence here in Jeddah. Also out on track we have Molnar. And it's quite a busy track at the moment. But it is going to be Fox Johnson being the first driver. Although on intermediates will be the first driver out on lap. Also shout out to a few people. Connor Ratcliffe, the other commentator, was birthday yesterday along with one of the media team, Binder, and today's birthday is Rolf van Loon. So 3 birthdays in the space of 2 days. Ah, you can't be talking about Rolf like that. Can't be saying Rolf's caked up. As we're about to get our first lap of qualifying. It is going to be Fox Johnson who comes across the line now to start the lap on the intermediates. Let's see what sort of time we can expect from the intermediate tyre. So already you expect to see the cars getting a little bit slippery and slidey through Sector 1. Grazes the wall for a second there, does Fox Johnson. As he now comes into turn 3. The curbs are a little bit more aggressive this game than last time. But let him cook. Chat says that outside curb there can be what can end a driver's race here in Jeddah. Overcook that slightly and you can lose that car. But it's a 34-0 for Sector 1. As we see yellow flags that people are wanting to give a little space to one another. But Fox Johnson with a clear track ahead of him now. Comes through Sector 2. Yet again, another tricky corner is that right-hander as he gets a little bit loose on the exit. Definitely not going to get the traction with them intermediate tyres. As we enter the first DRS section now. 3 DRS sections on this track as there is a McLaren... No, it's a Mercedes that has gone round. I'm going to assume that is going to be Nilsson. As Van Dijk not on track. Meanwhile though, Fox Johnson through the second DRS section now. Is going to be coming up to the final corner. The late braking. We're going to be getting a nice rotation on this. Gets the back end. Steps out massively. Big drift. We are not in Japan. But it's going to be Fox Johnson now coming towards the line to set the benchmark lap of a 1:32.4. Let's have a look if Nilsson got any damage. That is not Nilsson. Nilsson on the intermediates doesn't have... Oh, he's got end plate damage. So that is a 250k fine. As meanwhile, Fazbear on the softs. Set to bank of a 1:27.3. That is quite the banker lap. So, Smith on intermediates and Myron Peel also on intermediates. Both. Oh, Smith, that's a fairly rapid time there from Smith, actually. As meanwhile, Peter on the intermediates beats Smith by 0.08. Am I lagging or are they lagging? As Van Dijk now on intermediates does go fastest of the intermediate runners. Lemon here goes P7 in the Aston Martin. So currently Fazbear the only man on soft tyres to set a time. Van Dijk though fastest of the intermediates. I said 600th, didn't I? Meanwhile, there is a Byron goes P9 goes faster than Fox Johnson. So Fox Johnson's got to find some time. Housley has not set a competitive lap and then invalidates his next lap. There are Ferraris out on track though. Anthony currently P4. Skowski on his out lap. I don't believe anyone else is on a lap. Good evening. Oh. So, meanwhile, the next man on lap is Kasper Skowski on the soft tyre. Let's ride on board here with Skowski on the softs. Can he set a competitive time to compete with Fazbear's first lap? Or is Skowski going to be needing to think about a second lap, possibly? Coming from sector 1 now. This curb on the outside can ruin a lap. Oh, and so can that curb too. This is Amethyst Racing. Can Duckett please help out Mr. Cartzino regarding this leak? And meanwhile, Skowski now coming through that tricky right-hander. What is Kopf doing? Kopf isn't here, is he? Skowski though gets in that first helping of DRS. Shifting down twice, getting back on the throttle. We'll be looking for that second DRS section. Pops open his flap and he's going to be driving towards the late braking of the final corner. Down into third gear, going to be looking to swing it around and going to be now driving towards the line. Maybe looking to get a toe off that ass in front. I don't think it's close enough though. But Skowski going to drive towards the line and Skowski goes 3/10 faster than Fazbear. Is that the track coming alive or is that Skowski flexing his pace on Fazbear? As we look to see who is on a lap. Currently, the only person on a lap is Fox Johnson on another set of intermediates. Currently, P11 for Fox Johnson. Not looking good for his title defence. We will be losing 4 drivers from this first qualifying. And he's going slower than his last time. So surely it'll be a dart into the pits. This is a full qualifying, correct indeed. So is Luke Van Dijk is the next man on lap and he is gone for the soft tyre compound. Managing to not invalidate through sector 1 so far and his rear light is flashing as he backs off. I don't know what's going on. He's harvesting. I have been debated. Who is on a lap? Fox Johnson is on intermediates, not improving. Surely expecting him to dart into the pits. Skowski 100% coming into the pits. No, Fox Johnson choosing to do this lap. Rear light still flashing. As we see the second bunch of drivers coming out. Molnar on the softs. Edward on the softs. Nilsson also choosing the softs. Van Dijk, as we know, is on the softs. And Lund currently leading the drivers' standings is also on the soft tyre. So we're starting to see some guys come out on softs. Fazbear out again on softs. As we've got 8.5 minutes left. As we look to see, I think we might be looking to see Smith coming to start his lap now on fresh soft tyres. What can the McLaren of Smith cook up? Currently sitting P7 on his intermediate lap. And let's ride on board with the McLaren driver through Sector 1. And see, can he nail these apexes as he's now going to come up towards Turn 4. Takes it in 5th gear. And then this is the tricky and treacherous second ending of Sector 1. Very easy to lose it there, but Smith cleanly through as he's now going to be coming up to start Sector 2 into what is a nicely banked corner. Meanwhile, Molnar finds 3 temps on scarcity time and sets the fastest lap so far. As Edward beats Skowski before thousandths. So ahead of the Ferrari driver. And all these gaps are going to be critical. As we're going to go back to Smith. As he's coming out of that first DRS section now. Rides that curb nicely. Plants 2 wheels on it. Gets the drive through. He's going to be entering the second DRS section now. Smith now dropping down the order as Peter goes P2 just behind Molnar. But it is going to be Edward now rounding the final... Not Edward, it is going to be Smith rounding the final corner. Going to be getting that last helping of DRS. As he drives towards the line. And that is Smith for P4. Goes ahead of Edward. Importantly, and Myron Pill as a rank reserving for his previous team of AlphaTauri today. And Molo goes P3. So Peter in as an Alfa Romeo sandwich. As we look to see, is that Housley... going only 12th fastest. With Byland just behind him. A 10th off the pace. Let's see who could be coming up. Not Nielsen. And Fox Johnson's retired. Fox Johnson's had a crash. And Fox Johnson's absolutely binned it into the wall. That is your current reigning champion who has planted it on the exit. And that is not good for Fox Johnson. Meanwhile, Nielsen goes P9 in the Mercedes. But that Haas has not set a competitive lap. No, Fox Johnson will be out in Q1. Almost certainly starting from the back of the grid. As there's been a Fazbear gets a 5th place. What has Fazbear done? A collision with Lemon has happened. Fazbear has damage. Lemon also has damage. Both of them have end plate damage. I'm glad you said it, Nielsen, not me. Oh, and there's almost a tangling of the McLarens. As we look to see everyone diving into the pits. So currently Molnar is P1, P2 for Peter, P3 for Molo. Luke Van Dijk goes P4. Smith P5, Anthony 6th, Edward 7th, Skowski 8th. Simon Van Dijk puts it P9 ahead of the Mercedes of Nielsen in P10. And then it will be rank 11th, 12th for Fazbear, although Fazbear with a 5th place. Myron Pill 13th. Van Basten 14th. Housley currently safe from the drop in 15th. 16th will be Byland. 17th will be Mika Lemon. And 19th, Lund. Fox Johnson out currently. That didn't look like he was on softs to me. I may be incorrect though. So, out on a lap, Van Dijk is currently doing his in-lap. So we're looking, Peter is not feeling safe. The grid, definitely a lot closer in Q1 Maybe Molnar's safe? I would have thought Peter possibly safe here. But Peter not feeling safe himself. Anthony, though, P6, feels safe. So, we're going to see how drivers feel others can improve here. Anthony is only 7/10 off of the bubble. Skowski's even less than that. So as some drivers feel watching drivers below them retire is normally a good sign to feel like you should be able to retire. But we've got Lund, who is yet to set a time. Lemon, who has yet to set a competitive time. Housley supposedly did that lap on mediums. You could assume the same for Byland, possibly. We're hearing Molnar saying that that is his worst lap ever. But Peter, let's ride on board with Peter through Sector 1. I mean, he's going to have to serve it, I'm afraid. So there's definitely contact with him and Luhoff. I wonder if Luhoff was on the lap. Oh, and Peter taking a little bit too much curb there. Misses the apex through the windy Sector 1 as he's now going to enter Sector 2. As he comes around this nicely banked corner. We're looking for a good drive. Getting a little bit loose there on the exit. As we look to see who else is on a lap. Housley is out on track on a lap. Myron Pill out on lap on a track. Peter's teammate, where is Myron Pill currently on the track as Molnar does retire from the race, well, from this first qualifying section, as Pill comes around the banked spoon-like corner now. Simon Van Dijk, P9 currently, retires. Not sure how safe he is with that time. We will see. But it is going to be Peter now, who's come into the pits, didn't improve. As Leo Lund starts his lap. There's a Red Bull, Rico Van Basten starting his lap. Mika Lemon starting his lap. Look to see who might be on a lap now. Nielsen is starting his. It is going to be Myron Pill. Is the first car to finish this qualifying session. He's going to be driving towards the line now. Currently P13. Myron Pill goes P5. And that is a safe Myron. As that will be Rank starting his lap. We look now, it is going to be Housley, who is up 4/10. Coming towards the line, and Housley only goes P14. So Max Housley only managing P14. Fazbear will be driving towards the line now. Fazbear doesn't improve either. Well, does improve by 1/10.5. But not enough to go ahead of the next driver ahead of him. Byland can maybe look to leapfrog a couple of drivers. Byland improves unless he's starting his lap now. We will see. So we look, is it Leo Lund now? Coming up to the final corner. Housley was not cooking indeed. But Lund now hasn't invalidated, has only got this straight to go, and Leo Lund goes P1, beating Molnar by 1/10. Next up is going to be Rico Van Basten driving back in that Red Bull. Rico goes P12, knocks Housley out. Next up is going to be Lemon. Can Lemon find enough time? Lemon only P17. Next up will be Nielsen. Nielsen improves to P9. As we look, it's going to be Rank on the bubble here, along with Fazbear. And it's going to be Rank into the pit, so Rank not improving. Look to see who could be on a lap. I don't believe Housley is on a lap. No, Housley not on a lap. Fazbear not on a lap. Is Byland on a lap? Is the last man who can possibly knock Fazbear out in Q1. And he's going to be driving towards the line. Can Kevin Byland escape Q1? No, he can't. Fazbear makes it through by the skin of his teeth. Max Housley, Season 5 champion, is knocked out in Q1. Along with Mika Lemon, Kevin Byland, and Alex Fox-Johnson, the reigning champion, all out in Q1. Shock names, for sure. There we go, though. That is Q1 over. Haas will be taking up the back rows of the grid. Housley about to lose his job. Oh, da, 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 da. But there we have your top half of Q1. And the drivers eliminated. Both Hasses, the Aston Martin of Lemon and Housley, all out in Q1. Some shock names in there for sure. But that is the way the cookie crumbles. But 5 tenths separating the top 15. So we're going to be on for an almighty shootout here in Q2. Oh my, you're actually right. That's an insane fact. No Hammerdeer, no Ratcliffe on the grid. But every tier 1 champion that is on the grid is no longer in qualifying. As we get ready for Q2, and it looks like both Williams wanting to get out right away. That is going to be Peter and Pill straight onto the track. So predictions on who's getting knocked out in Q2. From what we saw, it's going to be very tight, and I don't actually want to call it. I don't believe I could call it right now. You got to be there to be square. Meanwhile, the Williams drivers are squabbling a little bit. And Fazbear has left the session. So, it's going to be Marlon Pill now starting us off. The Williams the Williams drivers looking to get as much heat as they can into their tyres. And Marlon Pill rounds the final corner to start his lap. And here we go, we're on the way. And it will be Marlon Pill, first driver on this Q2 to be setting a competitive lap, and he is on softs, possibly used, but on soft tyres nonetheless. Through turn 4 now, keeping it nice and tidy. Come through the winding 7, 8, 9 and 10. This track has the most corners, I believe, on any track on the calendar, but yet it's still one of the fastest tracks because it is so flat out 90% of the time. As meanwhile, Marlon Pill riding that curve cleanly, avoids touching the wall on the outside. And someone's out. One moment, we're going to switch to Smith because it looks like Van Dijk, the Aston Martin of Van Dijk, has gone straight into the wall. And he's ripped his whole front end off. Any harder and he'd have been up in flames like Roman Grosjean. But anyway, back to the guys on a lap. With Van Dijk out, only 4 other drivers can be knocked out here. And Myron Peel goes fastest, but only for Peter to beat him by 3 tenths. And then Anthony finds an extra 2 on his teammate. Next up is going to be Kasper Skowski. And it's a Ferrari 1-2 only for Molo to answer back with a vengeance. Meanwhile, Nilsson goes ahead of both Williams drivers. And Rico van Basten goes P3, splitting the Ferraris. And Edward goes P2 in the Alpine. I'm pretty certain everyone's on used tyres. Yes, Connor. Next up is going to be Smith. Comes towards the line now. And Smith! That has got to be fresh tyres. That lap. He has found... Oh, and Molnar! Oh, boy! Now the lap times are coming out. Now the lap times are really coming out. Molnar takes provisional first in Q2. Smith splits the AlphaTauris. And then it is Edward just behind, sharing the third row will be Anthony and Van Basten currently. As we look to see who is on lap. Luke Van Dijk on a lap is the only car currently on a hot lap. Everyone else either on an in or an out. In, out, in, out. You shake it all about. Let's see what Luke Van Dijk can cook. As he comes through Sector 1 now, sporting a yellow helmet. It's a very yellow helmet. Duck it. You know what to do. I thought you was going to do exclamation mark Discord, but that works too. As meanwhile, Luke Van Dijk now going to be coming through turn 12, 13, possibly? He's the only man on a lap right now. As we're going to ride on board through Sector 3 with Luke Van Dijk in the Mercedes. It's good to have the player cars. Not the player cars. Good to have the actual cars back in the game now that they've patched it. Van Dijk now on the limiter. Drives towards the line. And he's going to cross the line, setting a P3 for Luke Van Dijk. 900ths behind Smith. Next driver on lap is going to be Fazbear. Remember, has that 5th place, so we're wanting to go as far as possible. But he gets a snap and he invalidates there, so Fazbear not going to be setting a lap here. So, who is on a lap? It may be Rank next on lap then. As the Williams drop boys are back out on track already. No messing around. Trying to find as much time as possible. So here we go, Rank entering the second DRS straight now. Oh! Oh my days! He's just rear-ended the rear of Molo. Molo just not moving out of the way there. Man was on hot lap. And that is almost certainly not going to be, that 5th place is not going to be removed. Duckett, talk to your boys! So it's going to be Lund now, coming across the line. P2 for Leo Lund. Unable to best Molnar. Meanwhile, Fazbear looks like he might be going for it, and he's invalidated again. Thank you as well for the follow there. Marvonk, I've probably absolutely ruined your name there. Well, thank you very much for the follow. As we look to see who could be on a lap, you're probably looking at Anthony and the Williams pair. The first Williams is not Myron Pill. It's actually going to be Peter on a lap. Oh, hello, Monk. So the big talking point of Q2 is Molo not moving out the way of Rank. And meanwhile, Peter goes P2 just off the pace of Molnar. But the big talking point would be Rank was on a lap. Molo was about to start his lap and didn't move out the way, going into the apex, the final corner, and Rank rear ends Molo, and Molo has a 5-place grid penalty. His next up is going to be Myron Pill, starting his lap, really hanging us out to dry here. Rico Van Basten, though, does go P7 meanwhile. So Rico up into the top 10. Who is next on a lap? It is going to be the Ferrari of Skowski. Has found 3 temps so far. We're hoping them fresh tyres can come to life now, though. Oh, 5 grid. Yeah, it is a 5 grid. Oh, that's going to be massive. I mean, it is harsh, but it was a pretty bad block. So we look to see who is on a lap. It is going to be Anthony, possibly. Currently P5, or is he? No, he's on an in lap. Rico's on an in lap. Myron Pill might be on a push lap, though. Rear light flashing already, though, so definitely not on a push lap. So we look to see who could be pushing on a lap. We know Molo, currently P8, has started his lap now. We're looking to find time, getting to Q3 to alleviate as much damage as that 5th place can do. And Peter has retired in P2. So who's currently in danger of being knocked out in Q2? Fazbear, yet to set a lap, was P15 in the end of Q1. Could be in danger here. Myron Pill, Nilsson, Rank yet to set a lap. Skowski's right on the bubble along with Edward. A few big names could drop here. But it is going to be Molo now, rounding that final corner in that red and black Alfa Romeo. Going to be driving towards the line. What time can Molo pit set? And Molo only goes P7. Does improve by 3 temps. And Myron Pill's retired. Myron Pill has retired. That's a... So now we're starting to see some of the drivers higher up feeling a bit safe. So next on lap is going to be Fazbear, who is starting his lap now. Molnar retiring. Molnar 100% guaranteed safe. Fazbear starting his lap now as we see Van Basten out of the pits. Fazbear will be hoping to navigate that Ferrari as quick as possible. He does get an extra set for Q3. It is no longer Myron Pill, it is now Moron Pill. But it is going to be Fazbear now looking to set his first lap. Needs to keep it between the white lines for the rest of this lap though. He's kept it between the white lines so far. There's only one more place he can realistically invalidate. Gets his DRS open for the second time. Where can Fazbear put it? The driver from Turkey. Rounding the final corner. Oh, very close to grazing the wall there. But Fazbear is going to put it. P7. Fazbear currently going to be safe. That knocks Skowski into the elimination zone and puts Edward right on the bubble. Next up on lap, it is going to be Nilsson. Currently found 8 tenths this lap so far. Where can Nilsson put it? Needs to find a little bit more time to maybe feel safe. Currently in the elimination zone. Rounds the final corner. Will get the DRS for one last time. Nilsson goes P3. Nilsson near enough. More is definitely safe. Haas did, but they're going to be starting from the back 2 positions. Meanwhile, Edward now driving towards the line. And Edward goes P3 ahead of Nilsson. So the drivers who retired might not be safe. Molo is on the bubble and he retired early. Next up it is going to be Rank. Can Rank get revenge on Molo? And that is Rank. That's Molo eliminated. Rank goes P5. Next up is going to be Luke Van Dijk driving towards the line. And Luke Van Dijk goes P6. That puts Fazbear on the bubble now. We've still got 2 drivers to go. We've got Kasper Skowski rounding the final corner now. Can Skowski get it into Q3? And put his teammate possibly on the bubble here. Skowski drives toward the line. Skowski P10. Fazbear is eliminated. Rico Van Basten can spoil the Ferrari party. He's up 3 tenths already. Where can Rico put it? And Rico goes P8. Skowski's eliminated. Skowski out. Anthony survives. Just. I don't think Fazbear is on a lap. No, he's not. I swear, if he comes into the pits. Why? Just cross the line. Why you do this? Why? Why? So, Skowski eliminated. Fazbear eliminated. Molo eliminated. Both with 5 places as well. Rico Van Basten makes it into Q3, reserving. The Ferrari reserve beating his teammates in Q2. Anthony almost eliminated there. Right on the edge. As there is your Q2 results. And your 6th row will be Skowski and Fazbear. 7th row, Molo and Pill. Van Dijk, who absolutely clarted it into the wall. As actually, Molo and Fazbear both have a 5th place to serve. So, unless Fazbear disconnecting, reconnecting has dropped the 5th place, which will amaze me. There is no lobby restart. Oh. So as we get ready for Q3, the final 12 minutes of qualifying. It's going to be weird seeing Schumacher and a Haas after what Gunther Steiner did to Mick. As we get ready, Jesus Christ, my room is hot. I need to turn the fan on. The first driver on the track is Molnar. And they look rather fresh. Molnar definitely has at least 2 sets saved. As that's a Mercedes driver absolutely whizzing past him. It can only be Nielsen. Can someone make that pole for me? I don't have the ability to. Duckett, can you make poles? So it's going to be the Mercedes of Nielsen to set the first lap. Contrary to what was expected. Nielsen getting a little bit loose. Almost puts it into the wall. Would have been 1 DNF per session at that rate. But it is going to be Nielsen now. Starting his lap, got an AlphaTauri just ahead of him. Moves out of the way handily. So into this Q3 session, we have both AlphaTauris, both Mercedes, 1 Ferrari, 1 Alfa Romeo, 1 Red Bull, 1 Alpine, 1 Williams, and 1 McLaren. It's a big mix. And there's a lot on the line here. But it's going to be Nielsen now rounding through the spoon. Very true, although Kilday had a disaster in Qatar. It's going to be Nielsen though now, coming through Sector 2. It's going to be a purple sector as he's the first driver on track. Almost gets a little bit loose though through that fast left-hander. And with his DRS open, hugging that wall tight. As he rounds the final corner now. May look for a toe from that Haas. I don't know if he's close enough to get a toe. But it's going to be Nielsen driving towards the line. And that's a 1:27.8, almost certainly old softs. Next up is going to be Molnar, who's invalidated. So we look. Our eyes graze across to the Red Bull of Rico van Basten. As he rounds the final corner. Will be opening up his DRS flap. And that is provisional pole for Rico van Basten. Next though is Smith, who's invalidated. So it's going to be Peter in the Williams. Rounds the final corner. Drives towards the line and Peter got a 26.1 for Peter. That is provisional pole for Peter. And that is a rapid lap time. Next up Anthony. 8/10 off the back of Peter. As we look to the Alpine now of Edward. As now Edward is going to be rounding that final corner. One more helping of DRS to help him through this lap. He's going to be driving, gets that DRS open now. And we're driving towards the line. Edward is going to go. P4 currently. I have a feeling a lot of these guys are on used tyres. That is not Lund, so that is Rank coming towards the line. Rank now goes P2. Only a tenth of P2. Oh my god, what a lap. As we look to see who's on a lap. Possibly Lund on a lap. As he comes through the second DRS straight now. Almost certainly in a centre helmet there. Drives towards the line. And Lund goes P3. It's an AlphaTauri 2-3 currently. So as things stands, Peter will be on pole. London Rank, the AlphaTauri duo behind Peter, staring him down. But we still have 5 minutes left of Q1 to go. Conor Radcliffe going around giving people high fives. Whew. Rank has retired. As Lund is doing an in-lap and warming up his tyres. And now the great wait. Must have used his last set of softs. Oh, so we have a lull in the action. Come on, cars, and we have an Alfa Romeo coming out, so it's going to be Molnar, the first driver on the track in that Alfa Romeo. And now we see the first driver is bit, so all the drivers rushing out. But it's going to be Smith who's racing up behind the back of that Alfa Romeo. Please do not make contact. They don't make contact, so it'll be Smith now leading us out. And there's a Mercedes meanwhile looking to fly around the track. I'm going to assume that is going to be Nielsen. No, it is the other Mercedes. Something about Mercedes and just wanting to absolutely blitz it around the track, clearly. So all drivers are out, and they're all basically... the 9 drivers left in the session out on track, and it is going to be Luke Van Dijk yet to set a lap, going for his only lap of the session. The drivers without time will need to keep it clean and between the white lines, as they have yet to set a banker lap on new softs. As here we go, Luke Van Dijk going to be driving towards the line now, takes a wide line, and he's going to be off on his qualifying hot lap. What can Luke Van Dijk do? Further back, Smith starting his lap, and so is Molnar. Molnar, who was P1 in Q2, may be looking to set an absolutely tantalising lap here in Q3. As we're going to switch to, that is not who I wanted this man. We're going to switch to the POV of Molnar through Sector 1. In that Alfa Romeo, riding them lines. Oh, I thought he was going to hit the wall there, right on the limit. And he's cleanly through. Let's see what sort of time we're looking like. And Peter's retired! Peter has retired! Let's see if we can see it on Van Basten's POV. Peter is in the wall! Peter's in the wall as well! And Anthony has invalidated, so Anthony will not be getting another lap in. Peter has put it right in the wall. As we switch now to Luke Van Dijk, entering the second DRS straight now. So Peter currently provisional pole as that's a Ferrari. Anthony's also absolutely put it in the wall. So Anthony DNFs, Peter DNFs. Luke Van Dijk only manages P3. Next up is gonna be Smith. Smith goes ahead of Luke Van Dijk. Next will be Molnar. Molnar driving towards the line now. Molnar goes, but oh my god, what a time. Oh my god. Edward goes P3. Next up is going to be Nielsen. Can Nielsen find some time? Only P7 for Nielsen. Rico Van Basten is improving. What can Van Basten do? Van Basten goes ahead of both Mercedes. Leo Lund, last driver, currently winning the drivers' standings. Rounds the final corner, gets very wobbly. Oh, that is not a good lap time. And Lund will not improve. Lund starts P9. So it will be Molnar. Andre Molnar, P1. Peter, P2, even though he absolutely put it in a wall. Edward will be lining alongside Rank on the second row of the grid. Smith and Van Basten take the third row. It's an all Mercedes fourth row, just like what has been real life for quite a while. And the final row will be Lund and Anthony. Anthony putting it into the wall, following his good friend Peter. Both of them eating absolute shit. Alright guys, I just beg that we don't do absolute lunatic stuff into turn 1. Jeddah is not thirsty when you compare it to Qatar. Nothing is as thirsty as Qatar. The only thing that is thirstier is David Ducker when he goes to a party. While we wait for qualifying to start, I am off to the bathroom. as we are currently waiting for players still. So here we go. It is Mona and Peter lining up. Peter with the inside line into turn one. Mona starting from the front. Who will get a better getaway? It's hard to say. Mona covers off Peter. Peter goes aggressive around the outside. Will have the inside and is on the mediums. Meanwhile, Mona on the hards. And they're side by side because they come around turn three. Further back, we see it's Edward that gets ahead of rank, but Mona fends off Peter. Mona leads. As further back, it's going to be Rico Van Basten. Oh my god, I thought someone was out. No! No one hit a wall, I beg. Meanwhile, the Haas pairing still in the back. But everyone through cleanly. That's the result. And as I say that, Edward is dropping down the order. Oh my god! Virtual safety car as we see Lund. That looked like a bit of desync there. But Lund has lost. That was Edward on a murder spree. Edward's desynced, hasn't he? What is going on? Right, let's have a look at the tyres. So, Skowski and Molo on the softs. What is going... Oh, they've gone racing again. And Peter has got the jump on Mona. Mona with the inside, wheel to wheel for the Alfa Romeo and the Williams. Meanwhile, Rank and Luke Van Dijk is up the inside on Smith. Mona and Peter battling it out there. Let's get rid of these tyres, please. And meanwhile, Smith is battling it with Van Dijk side by side through turn one and turn two, turn three, as Peter gets a bit drifty. But Peter has the lead, but Mona is not giving this up. Actually slots in behind, and it's going to be Peter now taking the lead in the Williams as we see Lund into the pits. Meanwhile, Lemon has dropped all the way down into P18. Rank though holding steady in P3. Right now it's a Mercedes 3, 4 and 6. I love it. I didn't fully miss it. Don't worry, don't worry. But meanwhile, we look and it's going to be the... Where is the closest batter? Nilsson right on the rear there of Smith. And that is going to be the Mercedes of Nilsson around Smith with their medium tyres, making light work of the hard running Smith there. And he's right on the rear now of his teammate. Though Peter looking to try and extend on Mona. The gap already 6 tenths. And Nilsson and Luke Van Dijk going to swap positions. But it's going to enable Smith to maybe look for a move on Luke Van Dijk. But he has Rico Van Basten all over his rear. Meanwhile, we see Fazbear and Molo side by side. Molo around the outside. And that is Molo up into P14. Fazbear drops to P15. Meanwhile, Marlon Pearl in P9 sets the fastest lap in amongst this big train of cars. As Housley gets the move on Simon Van Dijk's wheel to wheel. Both on the medium tyre. Van Dijk will have the inside for the next few corners. Housley looking to clear him. They're still not clear. Oh, that was very close. But Housley gets the move done on Van Dijk. And now Molo is hunting him down. Fazbear dropping down the order as Fox Johnson gets past. Meanwhile, DRS has now been enabled. Peter will be trying to pull a big gap as Rank has already dropped off out of a second of the guys around and gets a big snap. Nilsson hunting down Rank now. But the front two pulling away. But Peter not able to get outside of the DRS as Nilsson has made the move and Rank is dropping down the order. Loses 2 positions to both the Mercedes drivers. And now Smith is all over the rear. As further back, Molo now wheel to wheel with Van Dijk. And it is going to be Molo getting through. Oh, and there's contact. And there is contact. That is Molo losing a winger. That's another virtual safety car. Peter being spared because Mona was gaining on the rear. Monk, can you give me a warning, by the way? As I get my second drink ready. Better tell him not to then. I'm not going to lie, that may have been on Molo, by the way. That possibly was on Molo. No, never. So we wait to go racing once again. It is Peter leading Molnar. Then it's a 3-4 for Mercedes with Rank in P5. The virtual safety car still not ending. Look to see who gets the jump on who though. Come on, virtual safety car. But the front two are a big healthy gap to the rest of the field, and there's quite a train forming behind Nilsson. Virtual safety car, please. And now DRS is enabled. Virtual safety car has been enabled. Monarch does get the helping of DRS. And Edward has been caught sleeping, has dropped outside of that second. Meanwhile, we see, oh my god, it is going to be Rico Van Basten around the outside of Smith. Rico up into P6. Smith drops down to P7. Meanwhile, Rank is hunting on the back of the Mercedes drivers as we switched back to the battle for the lead. As Smith gets back past Rico. And Rico fights back on the exit. But Molnar with the DRS may be looking to attack. Thinks about a move for a second. Got to remember, Molnar currently on the hard tyre. Peter on the medium tyre. Rank not close enough to make a move on Luke Van Dijk. And Smith will be holding on to the back of Rank as best as he can. Further back, Anthony has dropped over a second to Myron Pill. Edward has called back up to Rico Van Basten with the battling. So we have a train from P3 all the way to P9. And then it's the Ferraris squabbling for the final point, with Housley close on their rear in P12. But the battle everyone wants to look at is the battle for P1. 2-second gap to the next driver in Nilsson. As here we go. It's very clear. Nilsson is gaining on this front two, only by about a tenth here and there. But Molnar is gaining on the rear of Peter with the assistance of the DRS. Meanwhile, we look further back as well. And the only move I can see might be coming from Edward, who's looking to go around the outside now of Rico. Side by side, and that is Edward getting past Rico Van Basten. 4P7 further back, Fazbear and Fox Johnson battling it out for P13 and P14 respectively. But Molnar now with the DRS will be looking to maybe make a move on Peter, just choosing to stick behind him. As further back, Luke Van Dijk looks to cover off Rank. And he goes a bit deep here. Rank can definitely get a bit aggressive on the rear of that Mercedes. Better exit through out of 1 onto 2. As meanwhile, Housley is battling the Ferraris and has made the move on Anthony. Anthony loses 2 places. Skowski up into the points, but Housley on the medium tyre looking very racy on the rear of Skowski on the softs. Meanwhile, Myron Pill has also got past Rico Van Basten. And Myron will be looking to close up to the rear of that Alpine. As the front two now are starting to pull a little bit away from Nilsson. The DRS definitely playing an assist here. Rank though all over the rear of Van Dijk. And Van Dijk gets a bit of a snap, and Rank is going to be looking to make the move here. And Rank gets through up into P4. Luke Van Dijk now will be fending off Smith. And let's ride on board here with Smith, who has to come off the throttle, not full throttle there. As Housley's up into the points further back, has made the move on both Ferraris. And as you see in this train, Luke Smith, as Molnar has made the move actually. We go back to attention to the battle for P1. As Peter has lost out to Molnar, as Smith is having a drag race with Luke Van Dijk. And Luke Van Dijk is losing 2 positions here as Edward pulls out. But then he gets covered off by Smith, and it's side by side. Edward and Luke Van Dijk as they ground through turn 1 and 2, and Edward makes the move on Luke Van Dijk. And Pill now will be hunting down that Mercedes. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead as Peter has got back past Mona. I did not call Mona. Oh, that's very deep there. And actually, Mona is now going to be coming under pressure from the drivers behind. That was a massive moment for Mona. That basically frees up Peters on the medium. Big lockup for Mona in the dirty air of that Williams. And Mona now is going to have to fend off the drivers behind. We'll have the DRS to help them maybe make a move on him. And it will be Nielsen looking to attack. Getting very exciting. Fuck it, innit? As meanwhile, Van Dijk has been overtaken now by Mohan Pill. Mohan Pill on the mediums, Van Dijk on the hards. But that was a big moment for Mona now, as Anthony has got back past Housley and has the DRS. As meanwhile, Skowski into the pits on them softs. Couldn't make them last for long. Mona, though, under a lot of pressure here from Nielsen. Let's ride on board with the Mercedes, staring at the rear of that Alfa Romeo. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Nielsen not getting a good exit out of that corner. But will PTSD be creeping in as he goes back into the spoon section? Peter will now want to be using the medium tyres to further extend what the gap he's got and the advantage he has now over Mona. And we're hoping that the drivers behind that now in Mona's DRS can really start to put him under pressure. Meanwhile, Smith is back on a charge. That's Smith up into P4, Rank down into P5, and Van Dijk is almost being dropped off the rear. Is dropping like a stone. But Rank not giving up, looking for getting racy on the rear. Meanwhile, it's Nielsen and Mona side by side. Nielsen has made the move on Mona. That is Nielsen up into P2. Mona drops to P3, and Smith defends off Rank. But Mona gets back past with the assistance of the DRS. Meanwhile, Rank and Smith side by side. Smith holds off the AlphaTauri driver. Please be kind. But Peters now is being reeled in a little bit by Mona through Sector 1. The gap lost 2 tenths in Sector 1 alone. Maybe them hard tyres are starting to come into fruition. As that's 4 tenths in 1 sector now. Mona on a charge. And this train stemming now from P2 to P9. All of these drivers still in the hunt for a podium. Further back, Lund 20 seconds off the back. Lemon also not having a race to remember. Skowski, who's done his 1 pit stop, maybe looking to undercut here. But he's caught in traffic on Mola and Van Dijk. So Skowski's undercut, he's come out in traffic, wasn't able to clear these 2 drivers. And that doesn't bode well. But meanwhile, that gap, Mola is pulling this train along. And up into the rear of Peter. That is 6 tenths he's gained this lap. A big push from Mona this lap. It's hard to tell, but Mona is cooking because Nielsen's not having the issue, but does have the DRS to help pulling him along. Smith, meanwhile, defending off Rank. And Rico is well within this train now. If anything, Van Dijk may be struggling a little bit to keep up with the back of Mohan Pill as he starts to be dropped off a little. Won't be having the pace he'd have been wanting to. As Anthony and Housley are battling it out for the final point. Anthony though runs a bit deep. And Housley right on his rear, not giving him any quarter. Peter maybe had a lapse in concentration because he's managed to stop the bleed. As meanwhile Molo has got past Van Dijk. And he's going to have Skowski on the fresh hards, pressuring the both of them. All three of these will be looking to go to the end. But Skowski with the much more life tyre. It is definitely hard to medium or medium hard strat for the guys in the front. Peter started medium, will be going on to the hard. Molnar on the hard will be switching to the medium. And Nilsson will be looking to hold on to the back of that hard running Molnar. As rear light now flashing. Very important for Nilsson to make these mediums last as long as he can. It would seem so. But with the DRS, Nilsson holds on for another lap. Peter maybe starting to expend a little bit of battery. Smith almost being dropped off the back by Nilsson. Some of the drivers start to struggle a little more than others. It'd be interesting to know what setups people chose. Is Molnar blinking? Yes, he is. So Molnar and Nilsson both pushing hard. Meanwhile, Van Dijk and Molo are battling it out. With Skowski right behind these three in their own little battle now. And it is going to be Van Dijk coming under pressure. Both of the Skowski makes a double overtake. That's the Ferrari getting past the Ferrari powered Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes powered Aston Martin. Skowski with the double overtake will be looking to pull away from this pair now with the fresher mediums. Hards even, sorry. But Molnar is really gaining on Peter now. And he's dropped Nilsson out. Most importantly, he's dropped Nilsson out of his DRS. So Nilsson, who was pushing hard on his battery compared to the drivers behind, now out of DRS. And I must say, Skowski looking very racy. He's already dropped Molnar and Van Dijk by over a second. Don't rule Skowski out for as far as few points here with this undercut strategy. Although held up slightly, still got time to make it work. So now we see Smith will be looking to push and is going to be definitely deploying a little bit of battery as he is now past Nilsson. Nilsson not giving up the position fully. And that is around the outside as Rank gets a little bit sideways. Gets a poor exit and Edwards will be up into P5. And there we see Nilsson into the pits. First guy on the mediums to pit is going to be Nilsson. Looking to maybe make that undercut work a little bit or maybe cover off Skowski. As there we see Myron Pill up into P4 up the inside of Edward. And Rank losing 2 positions at once. Also Luke Van Dijk now out of the DRS on the guys ahead of him. So may have to start to push, or Rico may be looking to get past him. Nilsson going to come out behind Kevin Byland in that Haas. And Fazbear of the Alpine. But that was a big move there from Myron Pill. Smith up into P3. Myron Pill up into P4. Edwards maintains P5. Rank and Luke Van Dijk dropping back. But Luke Van Dijk has got back into the DRS of Rank. So these drivers still maintain. But meanwhile Molnar is still making inroads into Peter. But Molnar is pushing on that battery hard. Peter on the medium tyre. Maybe looking to pit soon. Lund is in P19, not having a good race. Lund has pitted after lap 1. But I don't think he's going to be going on much further. Peter has pulled out 2 tenths since we switched away. Myron Pill, though, looking very racy on them used mediums. On the rear of Smith. Myron Pill. This is a big result currently for Williams as things stand. And that is going to be Peter into the pit. Both Williams on the medium. Myron Pill pulls out, so Molnar takes the lead of this race. Edwards now is going to be having the rear light blinking. Pill gets past Smith. Edwards side by side with Smith. Smith with the inside. Edwards with the outside, but had the inside for the next corner. Rank right behind, eyeing them up as Van Dijk into the pits earlier than the rest of the hard runners, looking to undercut on their mediums as well. But Myron Pill up into P2. Smith P3, Edwards all over the rear though, but rear light flashing, using a lot of DRS in third. That is a fever dream. Third gear, and there's yellow flags, and it's Rank. Rank's had a moment. Rank has spun in the that is not where you want to spin. And there it is. Molo has retired. Oh, Molo's had an incident, and that is a safety car. That is massive. It's good news for Peel, Molnar, Smith, Edward, Van Basten, Anthony. Rank gets saved. Molo has had a moment and is into the wall. But Peter and the Mercedes drivers have all been shafted. Let's get twisted, double-fisted. I've still got like 20 to go. And Lund is back in this now. Fox Johnson, your current reigning champion, not having a race to remember. He's being outperformed by Kevin Byland. And here we have Molnar, Hill, Smith, Edward, Rico Van Basten and Anthony all into the pits. I expect to see Rank as well. Rank and Fazbear will be in. Peter should take the lead of this race. It's going to be close actually between him and Molnar. Peter though does lead. Oh no. Molnar comes out ahead. Molnar P1, Peter P2. Myron Pillow P3. It's a Williams double podium. Rico Van Basten leapfrogs Luke Van Dijk 4P7. So the guys on the hards now, it's going to be interesting because their mediums are going to be feeling themselves pretty much throughout this now. Yeah, Williams on the hards though. Their medium runners will be hunting. They do have Nilsson also on the hards though, as like a safety marker for them. Probably looking correct. 2 more laps. This also does allow Lemon and Lund, who have probably both pit as well. Lund coming into the pits. No, Lund on medium tyres now. So fresh mediums for Lund. And let's have a look how the tyre shake-up is now. So Byron's on intermediates. Couldn't predict it. Byron on the intermediates. But Molnar on fresh mediums. Peter on the hards along with Pill. Then it'll be Smith, Edwards on the mediums. Neeson and Van Basten on the hards. Then it is Luke Van Dijk, Anthony, Rank rounding out the top 10 on mediums. Fazbear P11 on mediums. Byland has chosen intermediates. Skowski on mediums. Fox Johnson on mediums. Housley on the softs. It's a bold strategy from Max Housley here, as he's got to do 11 laps on them tyres. Then Simon Van Dijk P16 on mediums, and then Lemon and Lund also on medium tyres. Surely Byron going to be coming back into the pits this lap. So I'm assuming that's going to be medium tyres for Byron. Byron, I believe, started on medium, so maybe put the inters on just to get the pit stop out of the way. But it's an interesting strategy for him. Let's see how this one pays off. So Lemon will be out ahead of him. But Lund will be behind by Lund, and Lund have a history, so there could be fireworks when these two try and battle it out. So we've still got 18 cars on the track, and let's have a quick look at the, not penalties, there's only 1 3 second currently. Let's have a look at the big gainers. Myron Pill up 9. Fox Johnson also gained 6. The biggest losers is Lund after that lap 1 incident with 9 places down, and Rank has lost 6 places. Most notably as well, Fazbear up 5, but with that 3 second time penalty, going to be very interesting. Safety car will almost certainly be in this lap. And we're going to go to Molnar and pull up his telemetry to make sure he doesn't drop too low when he does this restart. You see though, this safety car has enabled him to harvest his battery back up. And we'll have laps to try and dispatch the Williams drivers outside of his 1 second penalty range. My phone went loud for a second. No safety car will be in this lap. So Molnar will be leading them off. As you watch what speeds Molnar chooses to go at. Still well above the pace we said was the minimum. Looking to get a bit of warm-up in. When will Molnar choose to go? And looks like he's gone now. Tries to get the jump. And we're going to now take his telemetry off. Looks to get the jump on Peter. Unable to do so. Peter will be deploying that battery very hard. Nilsson, though, gets a good jump on Edward. Maybe looking for a move up the inside. Edward and Nilsson almost contact, but it's going to be Van Dijk makes the move on Van Basten. As meanwhile, Anthony gets the move on Rankton as well. Fox Johnson gets past Skowski. And, oh my god, that is going to be Edward cutting the track there. Oh, please don't crash, guys. Meanwhile, Molnar has a 7/10 gap already to Peter. Peter's going to have to really extend that battery. Peel coming under pressure now from Smith. The McLaren driver all over the rear of that Williams. With Edward lurking behind. Oh my god, I'm out of breath. But we go. Molnar almost with a second now. Peter is going to really have to start to think about pushing. Meanwhile, Van Dijk and Nilsson swap places like they did previously. Hearing pushed off. And Fazbear picks up another 3-second time penalty. But Molnar has a second gap now to Peter. And oh, Smith is battling side by side with Myron Peel. Who will get the better exit? It's going to be Smith on the medium tyre. Smith moves up to P3. And that is going to be Peter. No, Peter P2 still. Peel drops to P4. Van Dijk has been dropped off by Edward. So Edward really starting to show his pace, and there's been an incident. We've got yellow flags, and it is going to be Max Housley. Max Housley, no Will. Lemon is out. And Rank has had a coming together with Lemon, clearly. And that is a safety car. Once again. And Fazbear going very slowly there. But Molnar's gap that he managed to pull out has been alleviated already. Then mediums are going to be feeling like you've just got a fresh skin fade. But Molnar, who had opened up a second gap to Peter, and Peter actually has a bigger danger behind him, which is going to be Smith on the fresh mediums, Peter on the hards. Smith has already dispatched one medium runner. Edward will be now able to open up a counter wood pass on the rear of Myron Peel. And yes, the people who are on the field will be over the moon. As we see what strategies could come into play, could come into fruition. Molnar fakes going into the pits. Peter thought about it for a second. Will anyone bite? And we see Rico Van Basten and Fox Johnson. Fox Johnson, who's managed to set himself into the points. Him and Rico now into the pits. It's a bold move by them. And we also see Skowski pitting. Oh my god, everyone behind Anthony into the pits. So the top 10 onwards into the pits now. And Rico is ahead of Fox Johnson. And what tyres have they chosen? So it's going to be Rico on mediums. Fox Johnson's on the soft. Lund soft. Housley soft. Skowski mediums. So some of the guys not thinking the softs are going to last long enough. Fazbear on the softs. Byland onto the softs. And Rank also onto the softs. Getting damaged though. So Anthony may come under pressure here from the drivers behind. But we're going to have another safety car restart. This is the second safety car. Safety cars breed safety cars is the known saying. Oh. True, true. Can England get cold again? We are waiting for this to get underway. One more lap on the safety car. Medium runners are going to be living their best life. All eyes will be on the head for soft runner though. Can Fox Johnson produce any magic? I don't know what Faz is doing anymore. That's your driver. The hard runners are going to be in grave danger. So there you have it. The top 10, all on mediums or hards. Then you've got Fox Johnson, Lund, Housley, soft. Skowski, medium. Byland, rank, soft. And Fazbear on medium tyres. Notably though will be Nilsson, Peel and Peter on the hard tyre. Yeah, Fazbear pitted for me. That is your boy, Nilsson. Yep, he was just on softs, but I don't know. So the safety car will be in this lap. So once again, we look to see Molnar's chosen pace. He'll be looking to try and get a big jump on Peter again. Smith, though, don't rule out that McLaren. As Molnar still keeping well within the minimum pace restrictions for safety. And when will he choose to go? Leaving a little bit later. Catching Peter off guard and now chooses to go. Peter doesn't appear to have got a best start, although a better start than last time. Smith caught napping, but it's going to be Edward attacking Mo on Pill. Edward thinks about a move, thinks better of it though. And he's going to be Mo on Pill holding one further back though. We see Anthony, and that was Rico Van Basten going deep there. That's going to be Fox Johnson and Lund up into the points. Skowski in P14, Van Basten down into P15. Meanwhile, we look to see, can Molnar drop Peter this time? Peter will be pushing extremely hard on that battery. Also, Edward is all over the rear still of Mo and Pill. And that is, oh my God, Nilsson is in the wall. That is Nilsson out. And that is another safety car. And then Fazbear has hit Nilsson. Was there contact? I do not know. No, ice cream, why? Why? So once again, we have another safety car. Tier 3 cancelled. Tier 2 cancelled at this rate. So Molnar will once again be leading behind the safety car. And will anyone pit this time? Fox Johnson now into the points. And he's going to be Byron and Fazbear. And Rico Van Basten. Tyre situation is an interesting one now, because Fox Johnson in P8 is the highest of the soft runners. He's ahead of London Housley. Maybe looking to get past Simon Van Der... Oh, was that someone going wide? That looked a bit weird for a second. Under the safety car, here we go. Yeah, the fuel loads are going to be wow. Very, very wow. True, it's a lot easier to burn it, but we're going to have another lap on the safety car. So, will any of the back runners do a double pit stop? Oh, that's not good for Rank. Rank is, I've just seen what happened to Lemon. And there's a high probability that Rank is going to be getting a penalty of some sort. That was not the best rejoin. I've drunk about 20 of them. I've still got 10 to go, don't worry. God damn it. The last lap may be DRS. There may be one lap of DRS racing if the safety car comes in this lap. But it is Molnar leading this race. Tut. And the safety car will be in this lap. So we will have 3 laps of racing. Lund is in the points after the chaos that was lap 1 for him. Which just goes to show, don't rage quit before the race has ended. But we're going to bring up our favourite graphic right now. And that is the track how fast you're going graphic. And Molnar has gone. And gets a much better jump this time on Peter. Them hard tyres, maybe not in the temperature. And it's going to be Smith coming actually under pressure here from Myron Pill. Myron Pill looking very racy on them hard tyres. Unable to make the move though, as further back it is going to be a battle between the Van Dijks. And it looks like Luke Van Dijk just about holding off Simon Van Dijk. As Lund is all over. Oh my god, someone's gone very deep there. And that was Fox Johnson going very deep. And he's going to lose one position, maybe a second. Oh, that was very close there. But Peter is unable to drop Molnar is 8 tenths clear already on Peter actually. And that is Lund up into P8 on the soft tyre. Edward right on the rear of Myron Pill. Looks for a move up the inside there. Unable to do so though. But all drivers keeping closely within this train. And Molnar has already gained over a second on Peter. Peter may come under attack from Smith sooner than later. Edward as well, looking very racing. Let's ride on board here with Edward as we come through the final sector. Looking at the rear of that Williams car. Williams on for a brilliant result so far. But they've still got 2 laps to fend off the drivers behind. And Edward definitely getting a better drive, but Myron Pill putting the pedal to the metal. Pulling away with that toe from Smith. But that is a monster move there from Edward. And a little bit of contact. Oh boy, and that is going to be Van Dijk. And Van Dijk getting past Edward. Edward losing 2 positions. Criminal send, but also there wasn't exactly an attempt to defend it from Myron Pill. So that is going to go to the stewards after, I feel like. Meanwhile though, eyes are going to be on. Has Myron Pill got damage? No, Myron Pill no damage here. But he's now going to leave him susceptible to attack from the Van Dijk brothers as Fox Johnson now gets past Edward. Wheel to wheel, the pair go as Fox Johnson has also got back past Lund. But Peter unable to keep up with Molnar. It's going to be Smith hunting down Peter. Did Edward get wind damage? Possibly. Gageman was playing. Meanwhile, Fazbear in last place again of the running cars. But DRS will be enabled this lap, and it's going to be, oh my god, the Van Dijks are battling it out. Simon Van Dijk goes around the outside of Luke Van Dijk. Luke Van Dijk looks for a move up the inside. They're going to be free wide into the final corner. Oh my god, it's going to be chaos. Absolute chaos as Fox Johnson now gets up into the top 6. Who started last. He's fending off Van Dijk as Simon Van Dijk is going to be passed as... Oh my... Oh, guys! Guys! No! No! What is going on? It's gone. That is a disaster of a final lap. And then Smith rides the curb, pushing a little bit too hard. Myron Pill P11, Van Dijk P14. Oh my days, it is a disaster. Fox Johnson now up into P5 though. But Smith has dropped outside of a second, so it's going to be Molnar, who is clear now of Peter. Smith P3, Van Dijk pushing hard to try and catch up to Smith. Don't think he's going to be able to do it. Fox Johnson's battery flashing Lund up into P6. Anthony now in P7. Byland is in P9. Looking for points for Byland. But it's going to be Anthony now. Rear light flashing, coming under attack from Rank. Rank makes the move there on Anthony. And Byland might also have been thinking about the move. But Molnar now drives towards the line and wins in the Saudi GP. Peter P2. Smith P3. Simon Van Dijk P4. Fox Johnson finishes 5th. Lund 6th. Rank 7th. Byland 8th. Anthony 9th. 10th for Edward. 11th will be Skowski in the end. 12th for Housley. 13th for Myron Pill. And Luke Van Dijk comes home P14. Fazbear last of the running cars. We cross the line, and that's P15 for Fazbear. Fox Johnson started last, gets driver of the day. But there is your race winner. Andre Molnar wins in Saudi. P2 for Peter after his disaster fuel moment in Qatar. And Noah Smith gets P3. But there we go. There is the champagne celebrations for the drivers. Alfa Romeo get their first win of the season. Peter makes it to the podium. And Noah Smith rounds out. Yes, fights are going to start in public. Duckett, could you set slow mode onto public for me, please? But there is your provisional standings as we wait for tickets to come in. 15 drivers finish around 25 laps on the Jeddah track. We're going to go for an intermission quickly as we get ready for the interviews. Hello, and welcome back as we get ready for the interviews. So, P1, from what I'm aware, is not going to be coming up, but there is the Alfa Romeo of the race winner. As we're now going to go down to P2, and that's Hans Peter on his redemption drive in the Williams. Peter and Pill. Come on up. Peter, P2. Redemption in the Middle East.
Yeah, a lot better than the last race, obviously. But yeah, strategy wasn't great.
The interesting choice of starting tyre, but sadly being dropped off at the end by Molnar. But still, solid points for yourself today. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, it's a good finish. I started on mediums because I expected someone to crash, obviously, but instead I got 3 safety cars after I boxed, so yeah, it didn't work well.
And qualifying though, you had a moment.
Yeah, just a small moment.
Just an incident. Just an incident.
Yeah, an incident. Took my wheel off a bit, but still got. I mean, I wouldn't have beat P1 lap anyway, so yeah, it was fine. Easy with the first lap.
Myron, you had a brilliant comeback drive, but a 5 wide down the main straight. I'm sure we're going to be seeing tickets about it for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
the race was just amazing. I started P12, managed to get P3 because of the safety car. I got pretty lucky with it, but the pace was also there. I got good pace, could keep up with the guys in front, and then yeah, just also the wrong strategy. It was on a hard tire, and then first was on lap 24, but I got when just Edwards decided to send it on me into turn 1. That was the first one that already ruined a bit of the race because I was out of the DRS from the McLaren. And then I don't want to talk about it. Turn 1, lap 25. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. It's just I can't believe what happened there. It's just I'm on the outside and I just got straight line by everyone there.
It was chaos as they decided to go 5 wide.
Yeah, I was just normally on the outside. Was just normally turning in, and when I was already turning in, I felt a big hit and my whole car was just broken. Got also a 5-second time penalty for cutting the track, but yeah, I couldn't do anything. So yeah, it's good that I can see that the race pace is here, but yeah, it was better to get like P5 or P4. So yeah, very disappointed, and yeah, also good luck to the stewards with this. Because yeah, they have a lot of work to do right now.
Actually, I can't talk in that ticket. I'm blessed because
Neither.
Van Dijk was involved.
Yeah, from what I saw is that Fox Johnson made contact with I don't know who it was. Maybe it was like one of the cars there. He lost the car and he hit the Mercedes and the Mercedes hit me. So it was like.
From looking at it a bit, it looked like it was, I think, Luke Van Dijk hitting Alex, which caused him to run into Edwards, which caused Alex to run back into Luke Van Dijk, which spawned like 3-4 cars.
Joy!
But yeah, I don't care anymore. It's just, we will see what the stewards will do, but like, I will not get P4 back, so yeah.
No, I know. And with Bahrain's first sprint race of the season, how are you boys feeling for it as we try out a new format used in the Creator... Oh, no. Used in the Creator series where P1 in the drivers starts at the back.
Wait, what?
Reverse championship.
We're doing reverse only for the first race.
You'll start up there.
I start P1 then.
at least at the front, yeah.
Hey!
So we're trying it out across all 3 tiers. How do you guys feel about it?
About Bahrain or the...
Bahrain,
like,
in general.
About Bahrain.
Not very good.
Not good, but about the reverse crit, I feel pretty confident. Because I'm lost in the championship.
Being murdered has paid off for my own
can't-
team.
Yeah, I think being murdered paid off pretty well.
Ireland has more points than you, Marlon.
Yeah, but Bylon did not get killed by everyone.
True.
To be
Like-
fair,
Very true.
after what
Very
happened
true.
this race in the mid pack, I don't know how I feel about the reverse grid for next race.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck.
I think we just need to do a qualifying session because if you do reverse grid, then you will get chaos at the front and everyone will crash out. So yeah.
We're only going to trial it for the first sprint race of the season.
Okay, good.
Okay, that's good.
It
Look,
won't
I've
be in the other
actually-
two. If it goes badly,
Right.
across all 3 tiers,
Look, I've got a question for you. You know, pit entry line.
yeah,
What's the rules on cutting that?
I don't know.
I don't either.
What was the rule last time? I know
I don't
exit
know.
you can't cut.
Yeah, but entry, I don't know.
We normally say don't cut it.
Oh.
Oh, Peel is done. Peel is done.
Oh, that goes Peel. Fair.
Anyway,
So would you say it's, illegal?
if it was mentioned in the briefing, yes. If it wasn't, blame Duckett.
Oh shit.
Fuck you, Doc.
Bro,
Fucking
what?
fuck's sake.
No, don't blame me.
Anyway, do you guys have anything else before we go bring up Mr. Smith, the McLaren reserve?
Tier 3 is genuinely turning into fucking tier. No, tier 1's turning into tier 3.
Suey. Oh wait, what do you mean by that?
Hey, have you seen the racecraft in tier 1 is turning into tier 3 level racecraft?
Yes,
Look, the clips I've seen of you raging, mate,
yeah, but I'm normally being murdered.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
whole point.
you're still being murdered. I didn't say it was you, I said it was tier 3.
Yeah, true. Anyway, anything else you guys would like to say before we go bring up Mr. Smith?
Yeah, just one more question.
Uh-huh.
Is there a lobby restart?
Get out of here.
I'm sure it's not love restart, Luke.
Smith!
Let me up.
He's
That was
up.
shit.
Oh,
I'm never racing here ever
That's
again.
Housley, okay.
Just start get me up, mate. Is my teammate here?
Where is Smith? I thought you were Smith.
Nope. Everyone should quit racing. No
He's
one
not
can
here.
race.
Alright,
Let's-
be gone. Alright, who was P4? In the end. You're not coming back up, Max. Where is P4? P4 was Simon Van Dyke. Hello. Let me just load
That
up
took
your...
you a long time to figure out. Holy shit.
Brain hurts, okay? Brain hurts. There's been over 40 hydrates.
Chaos.
Chaos indeed. But you come out in P4. Big points for Aston Martin with Mr. Lemon sadly not making it to the end of the race. But talk us through your battle through the field, Van Dijk. You were battling side by side for what seems to have been almost the whole race.
Yeah, that was a crazy race. I was battling Alfa Romeo, I think, for a very long time until he crashed at the same place where I crashed in qualifying. So that was a free position then. And then the safety car just changed everything for everyone. And at the end, I just managed to avoid everyone that had that collision, and I went right through it. So yeah, for me it was lucky, but yeah, it was a weird battle there at the end.
P4 though, solid point, 12 points for yourself in this title charge.
Well, I won't get the title. But yeah, I needed those points. Also, since I don't have a contract for the full season, only for 4 races to prove myself. So I needed those points to let them show what I could do. Also from a bad starting position. So.
And you definitely made it work and showed that you did have the pace there. And McWilliams, you must be very happy with said result.
Yeah, it was quite nice to see. After Qatar, there was a bit of a mistake with the setup, And it was good to see that Simon, took big steps on his own initiative to help himself improve. He didn't really need much of a push. He knew what to do, and he did it, all autonomously. He was very smart in how he prepared for today. Obviously, he was very unlucky during Q2, and then, my heart did sink when I saw that yellow flag come up. But it's good to see him make his way through the field and earn a very, very deserved P4.
And Bahrain's next for yourself. How do you feel for Bahrain?
Yeah, well, I don't know yet. I don't know what you just said in the previous interview about the reverse grid. Is that for next race? Or?
That is only going to be trialled for next race's sprint race.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think then. If there's the same amount of chaos as this, then it should be fine. But there's not too many safety cars in this. Yeah, okay, except for this race. But there are not too many safety cars normally in Qatar 0. So if there's nothing about the safety car on that track where you don't retire too quickly, then I don't think it's too. Then I really need the pace to get up the field, and that's hard with a lot of fast guys that are here. So I don't know. I have to practice, and then we'll see about Bahrain.
And anything you guys would like to add before we go up for one last interview?
No.
Well, congratulations on the P4, and yes, we'll hopefully see you next week for Bahrain Sprint.
Yeah, thank you, of course.
Thank you, Loki. Hopefully you don't drown tonight in those tickets.
You're lucky,
Just
Brett.
decline all. It's
You'd have
easy.
another
Just
4.
decline all.
I need to whack you down. Bye-bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Okay, it is only right that we bring up the driver of the day. Probably should unmute him in this. And his team principal. From back...
Why did you mute me?
Oosh.
For back of the grid for double points. Big result for the Haas driving team. Talk us through your race, basically.
Alex, thoughts?
I think chaos. I think that was the only thing that helped us today. Byland did really well. He came up with the strategy, actually. Because I pitted the same lap as the safety car came out. And he said, why don't we just pit back onto mediums, seeing as we've changed tyres, and that's what he did with the inters. He went onto inters and changed onto the mediums, so we'd have fresher mediums for the rest of the race. That safety car went over. Nico died, which was quite possibly the highlight of my year. It was the funniest thing I've ever watched. But yeah, I think I also got sandwiched down the straight. I think you saw that on stream. I don't.
We were almost 5 wide at some point, which was
Yeah, I got George Russelled. I got sandwiched, and just chaos ensued. But I managed to slip into P5 after that. But yeah, I think considering I've got COVID at the moment, so I'm currently running 40% force feedback and 30% brake pressure. So considering all of that, I think I've done really well, and so is Byland.
I also heard you was running 3 wheels during qualifying.
We don't talk about it, Luke. We don't talk about it. You see,
It was planned. It was planned.
Exactly. It was the massive. I just had to give everyone a chance. You see, but yeah. I mean, it was game glitch, I think, in qualifying. But yeah, overall, good race. Really well done to Byland, and was it Molnar that won?
Molnar did win. Dropped
Right.
Peter off the train very swiftly.
Well done to him. Well done to Pete. Was it Smith P3 as well?
It was Smith P3. I thought Housley was Smith, and it wasn't.
No, he died with me at turn 1.
I heard a lot
But,
of people did.
But yeah, well done to all of them. Great race overall.
And Byland, P9?
8.
8! So, more
Yeah.
points than you scored the whole of last season in Tier 1, I believe.
Shut up.
Hey, congratulations on your points. Improvements.
Yes, but it's an
Stonks.
offense from last season.
Stonks.
Yeah, with
It's 'cause I'm here.
2000 on the other McLaren. No, yeah, wait. No, Albina. The Ferrari.
Yeah.
2000s. I got him by.
Oh, wow.
So quite close finish, but the last lap, turn 1, Chaos really did stuff. I got from then, say I think it was P13, got me up to P10 at least, or P9, just by that incident alone. And people today were just insane, making hella dangerous dive bombs everywhere.
There were quite a few chaotic moves, I do have to say.
Bahrain sprint race next week, though. How are you guys feeling for it?
I'm not gonna
Bahrain.
lie. I'm feeling a bit screwed. It's one of my worst tracks. But I'll see what I can do. Saudi's one of my worst tracks, so hopefully I can do the same there. Did you say reverse sprint?
So the sprint,
Reverse grid sprint.
we're going to do what Creator Series do. I'm taking that as you've never seen Creator Series.
No,
Yes, I have.
never.
Not the sprints.
So when they have a sprint, they take
Right, creator. I see.
they take the championship order and flip it on its head, and that is the
So
sprint.
if there's reserves in the race, would they get first?
Reserves
or-
will get the position of the person they're reserving for.
Oh yeah.
So
Wait.
what a reserve does.
And if you've scored more points than the driver you're reserving for, you will take your own points position.
Eesh. I mean, Schumacher should be back for next race. So we
I've
will have-
enjoyed beating my
hopefully
teammate
strong.
for one race.
Anyway, anything else you guys would like to add before we end this stream here? Because I would like to have a nap.
Nice
Just-
rejoin today by everyone.
yeah, just well done to everyone. Chaotic race, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, GG's to everyone.
Alright, well, thank you very much,
Yep.
boys. And we'll see you next week, possibly.
Yep.
Anyway, on that note, that is the end of the Tier 1 stream. Tune in on Sunday for when the Tier 2 drivers take on Saudi Arabia. Who will come out on top? The only way you'll find out is by tuning in. Anyway, it's been me, Martin. Thank you very much, and goodbye.